like just to have us like talking and then like, oh hey, we're live. Oh hey guys, yeah. Oh, you're funny.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cognizance Composition. And today we are here with Harley Seelbinder. So, like, well,
Yeah.
so do we want to
So
start off with who he is and what he does, or do we want to bring that in at the end?
yeah. So the episode
Yeah,
is called Paradigm Shifting into Faith. So basically what we believe and trying to change the model of that. So yeah, Harley, could you like just like let people know what they need to know about you in this episode? Into some of the things that we're gonna be like breaking down and whatnot.
Sure. My name's Harley, like you said. I'm 23 years old and I host a podcast. I also help men quit their porn addiction. I have a group called Road Away from Porn. I'm also an industrial engineer and I also run a cleaning company and I'm an accountant. I have a lot of things that I do, but the thing that I like the most is just self-improvement. Every single day, I want to improve 1% because I know how much it compounds. And I think that when you make the world a better place through your actions, you help the world around you. And that's what I'm all about. And so that's what I'm here for. Thank you.
and
Heck
by the
yeah.
way, all of his stuff, like his YouTube channel and his links and stuff, will be found in the link in the description. So yeah,
Yes. So, Travis, will you, if anyone like comments or likes whatever, will you let us know, and then we can like address that, or if they have questions or
okay,
whatnot, just let
yeah.
us know, and we'll
So
reach out.
yeah, so currently we are at 0 and 0, but once
Yeah,
we hit
it's
that
all
one
good.
person, yeah,
It happens. You know what I mean? Hey, if you want, actually, like put something in the comments, like letting people know, be like, hey guys, we got a question. You know.
okay,
So
yeah.
anyway, so bro, I feel you 100%. Like I love to better myself. I was never always that way. Like it only just happened like the past couple years when finally I just like snapped out of the darkness and ignorance that I was living in, and we all need kind of like a wake up call, I would say, like regularly. Cause I think honestly life is about seasons. And sometimes we fall asleep, we get lackadaisical, we kind of get too relaxed or comfortable or even convenient. Like even today I was thinking, I just need to step in and dig deeper and get back because man, I lost all the weight. Then it's like I'm gaining it back now. So but yeah. So what would you say for people that might be struggling with um delaying gratification or like trying to like sit in something convenient or comfortable that might want to do different? And how is that like how do you do that?
Uh, let's see. That's a good question. The thing that I would recommend to people is try to figure out and get clear on your goals. Maybe write them down, but more specifically, tell them to other people. Like if you have a goal or an idea in your mind of like where you want to go or the bad habits you want to remove, the more people you tell and the more serious you are about it, I think the higher probability that you're going to reach it. Like if you just kind of keep it all in your mind, like, oh, I want to lose weight, but you don't tell anyone, it's like it's never
Mhm.
going to happen. You can't just do it alone. And in my opinion, I guess you can, but it's so much easier when you have people in your corner. If you can go to people on a regular basis about your goals. So, I guess that's I guess that's a good place to start potentially is have some people holding you accountable to what you're saying. Like, because you don't want to be the guy who's just saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you get dopamine in saying that. But if you don't achieve anything or don't do anything, you just kind of, you're incentivized to almost just stay. So I guess what I would just recommend is take the leap and start now. Start moving, start telling people and you'll be crazy to see how the results just come piling in at a pretty quick rate.
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's almost like this mental game. Because like I say game, but like you have to tell people, or else you're not going to do it. And that is something
Mhm.
I've noticed some other people. Because if you keep it to yourself, but then there's no point of wanting or even attempting to fulfill it.
Yep. And then you got to have that accountability, or at least some people that can be there to like keep you in check, like that accountability of like making the action, like checking in on you, having a support system, and it has to be people that care about you, that like care about you, or else it's gonna seem like, they're like, oh, have you done that yet? Like, have you done you know what I mean? Like almost in a negative light. So, but yeah, dude, like totally, there has to be some type of reward system, because like if we just go around and say it like you're saying, you do get that dopamine fix. You get a little hit of like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like when's I'm gonna be like I am. Like I am is so much more powerful than gonna or will or you know. So
Yeah.
yeah. So creating a schedule, like actually sticking to it, like when that time comes. So yeah, but support systems, really just having those people that you can lean on. So, what would you say about people who don't have that, or like, in a sense, don't really have people in their corner, or that might be struggling with, um, maybe like anxiety, in a sense, like they get depressed or get down on themselves, like trying to snap people maybe out of that whole just stuck feeling.
So the question is like, what would you say to someone who's anxious or someone who doesn't have someone in their corner or both?
Yeah, yeah, both kind of like like they need to be able to get the willpower to get up on themselves, like get that motivation, get that like drive, like you know what I mean, like yeah.
Hmm. Let's see. If someone feels kind of stuck and they don't know exactly who to go to,
Mhm.
just the thing that I recommend to pretty much anyone is going to a counselor. And that could be a person at your church potentially, but I go to
Mhm.
like a professional counselor or therapist and I get to go to him every single other week and kind of spew him my thoughts, give him my pains, my dreams, my desires, my thoughts. And then I'm not alone anymore. And I don't have to feel bad for like ranting to someone and wasting their time because it's like, no,
Mhm.
I'm paying for it. This is a beautiful transaction of me being able to become clear and him being able to make money. It's like it's a nice
Yeah.
combination in my opinion, and I've kind of formed a similar kind of group where people pay me to just open up and they have that ability to open up, spew their thoughts, and I provide some ideas, some thoughts, but I guess the most important thing is having someone in your corner that can listen, and not always is going to friends going to work. That's why I really
Mhm.
recommend like finding a mentor, finding a counselor, doing something like that because it as soon as you put a little money down, you're forced to take it seriously and
Mm.
you're forced to
Yep.
do it on a more consistent basis. If it's just kind of that guy, one of your friends you kind of mentioned to once every quarter that you want to try that thing, it's like
Yep.
there's no incentive there. And so I guess my recommendation is get some professional help, go join, try a program out, go to counseling. Both of those two things are truly powerful stuff. I've done them both, and they've made me into a sharper person and a more
Heck yeah.
self-introspective person.
I,
Heck
I
yeah.
feel like things like therapy always get such a bad like rap on them, in a sense because like, oh, you're weak if you do that. No, you're not. Like if you
Yeah.
need help, if you like try to stay in that yeah, in that section where you're just gonna be alone, well, yeah, you're always gonna feel alone, you're always gonna feel lonely, you're always gonna feel, I guess, self ashamed because you're not gonna be able to do this alone. But actually
Mhm.
getting some good help from a professional can actually go a long way. And
Yeah. It takes courage. Because like even as like humans and just people in general, like we're all sinners, so to speak. I mean, like, there was only one that claimed not to sin, right? And he actually claimed to be God. So it's knowing that like we're meant to have a relationship with people. Like, and it takes courage to go to someone else and tell them something that you think is a sin or even that you feel ashamed about, or that you feel guilty of or that you're scared of, and like these are things that we all go through. We all have these things regardless or not what kind of image we want to portray. And it's like once you realize that, it's a whole lot easier to see people's facade, to see the illusion that people want to display sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's why like you have to go to someone and be vulnerable. And you're right, whenever you pay for something, you know what I mean? You're legit like, you know, what you value is where your heart is,
Mm,
and where you put your money. And, you know, how much something is worth depends on how much you're willing to pay. Like, not just money either, like your time, and the actions that you take, and literally the people that you involve. So yeah, man, that's awesome. That's good stuff. So have you
Yeah.
had any like experiences uh with that in a sense as far as like the guilt or the shame or like fear of people like when they come and try to like get help for that kind of stuff? Like
like I guess people looking at you like you have a problem for going to counseling. Is that what you're saying? Or
no, the people that have the problem like coming to you.
mm,
Like from their aspect of it, like noticing it like as they come to you.
yeah, like I have calls with guys, and to be honest, Travis was on one of the calls, and all I do is just have a quick conversation, get to know the person, try to understand their situation when it comes to their experience with porn, and
Yeah.
like, if the person feels comfortable and interested in talking, 98% of the time they do, because it's a judgment-free zone. I was
Mhm.
addicted for 10 years. I know the pain. I know what it's like. And, I'm here to try to understand your problem and see if my solution is a good fit. If so,
Yeah.
awesome. If not, no problem. It was great to meet you, and I hope that this call motivated you. And that's kind of the strategy that I do. Like, if you are a person who, well, let's see, if you're willing to just be vulnerable, like you were saying,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
someone and share that pain and expose that problem of yours, all of a sudden it's in the light versus it's all muddled in your head. And
Mhm.
it's kind of crazy. Like, as soon as you like share that with someone, there's a connection that's formed,
Mhm.
because you haven't told many people about that. And so
Yeah.
a lot of guys I talk to, they're like, Harley, you're the only guy I've told about this porn problem. And it's like, no problem, man. That's great for
Yeah.
a start. But my recommendation, now that you're in, you're gonna tell most of the people in the group, get to know them. A challenge is you have to tell someone in the real world, as well. And so I don't
Yes.
know, I guess just people always are like, I ask, like, were you nervous beforehand? Yes. How bad was the nervousness? Oh, only for like the first 10 seconds. And then once we got into it, it was great. It was great. And it's like, exactly. It's really not that
Yep.
hard, not that
Yep.
bad. I know it's weird, but it's so helpful to just open up.
Yes, man, you gotta
Yeah.
get it out there, like, expose some light on the situation, like did you have something you
Yeah.
wanna say, Travis?
Yeah. What I was gonna say is like it's almost like the more light that you expose on it is like the weaker it can get. So the more vulnerable you can
Mhm.
be with somebody else about this, then it's like it's not necessarily shame. Yeah, I guess it is shame in a sense. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
almost like this
Yeah.
embarrassment. It's like, oh man, I'm like telling this person about what I'm doing now. But honestly though, but when you do that, it's like okay, it gives you another reason to actually want to
Mhm.
stop too.
Yeah.
Boom.
And if I want to be
Yep.
completely honest, like, hey, I struggle with this stuff. Okay, like I still am. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect here. I'm still trying to get over this, but I am still
Oh, yeah.
telling people. Like I remember when I had to go to Charlie before accountability, man. Like, I
Yeah.
was nervous at first, but after that, I was like, yeah. And now he has actually complete control over my phone. I cannot install anything without his permission.
Fair enough.
So, man, I got, like, 3 different things I wanna go at here. I'll start with the vulnerable one, okay? So me and Travis, when we first started this, I came to him and I told him a lot of my past, because when I came back to church and faith, I was like, I felt all that. I felt the shame, the guilt. I felt like I wasn't worthy. It was like it was scary in a sense because it's like you have to travel this new road, but the more you do it, the more you beat down the path, the more you know how to get through it, the more you can go and like, you have to just keep repeating over and over. Because, dude, I used to be, and I even still struggle with porn now. Like we all do. I think as men, like we're wired to want that. We're wired to want to go, and get women. We're wired to want to, you know, lust after things. But I think, not only do we need to sacrifice that, for the greater good, the delayed gratification, you know, um, but we need to be able to be more representable, without reproach, more honorable, because you know, I don't think it's really desirable that, we go out and just do dirty, you know what I mean? Constantly, like, get dirty. Cause like subconsciously, even in our brain, like the way we're wired, like that's where guilt comes from. I mean, knowing that you're doing these things, even when we're not with other people, you know what I mean? Like realizing that by ourselves, we're doing this. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like you're not good. You know what I mean? Like, that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and then it's like you go out and you're with other people and subconsciously, you know what I mean? You're like, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? And then it's like you start feeling bad about yourself. You start looking at yourself in a bad light, and it's gonna come up eventually. You know what I mean? In some way or another, it hurts relationships. It hurts, everything, and when it comes to talking to people, I would say prayer helps a lot. Um, but God also uses other people, like you're saying, like we need to have other physical people in our life we can have as mentors and coaches and people we can go to when we're feeling weak without judgment, so that safe place, to know that you can be vulnerable and no one's gonna like look down on you because you did something wrong. You know what I mean? Or, wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's not about just full judgment. It's about mercy, like compassion, like grace and just loving people for where they are, and that's something that brought me back to my faith was knowing that regardless of how it was, Jesus was there, and like he's there to like help me and pick me up and like he sacrificed for me and like went out of his way to make sure that I could be saved and like that he cared for me regardless of what I did, and so yeah, man, that's that's deep and vulnerable, because dude, when it comes to sexual morality, I was like really bad. And it took practice. It took a lot of work to get away from all that, you know? So yeah, that was the vulnerable part. And then I have a funny thing I was thinking. Basically on the movie Joe Dirt.
Mm.
Uh is this where you want to be when Jesus come back? You know what I mean? So anyway, that was my couple comments that made me think about.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, you have to. I like what I wrote down, loving people where they are, because everyone's in a different circumstance, and you know, being that. I guess just the position I'm in, I'm that listening ear to all these guys who are in all these different situations, and I've been able to like help them. Like each person's strategies are to quit porn is different. Some people's
Mhm.
truly involves a ton of prayer, other people's don't involve as much prayer. Mine
Mm.
didn't, it just depends on the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to just see like all of the 20 ways in which people are being able to remove this addiction and how like all the
Yeah.
different habits that they implement instead. Some people they're starting video editing, other people are building businesses, other people are really just taking the gym seriously or just going back to school, or it's just what are you your life normally it's like porn isn't necessarily the problem, it's a result of your life being kind of just shitty. Your
Yeah.
life isn't as good as you wanted. You're feeling down about yourself. You're feeling stressed about something you're not doing. You're feeling depressed because you're not enough. You're feeling like
Mhm.
alone, not much connection. You're feeling irritable because something happened. It's like if you make your life better and just start pursuing habits that are healthy and start living that dream life of yours, porn is no longer going to be that option that you're even going to go to because it's just going to make you feel like trash for 3 days. Three
Yep.
days of feeling like trash is not worth it when you're on that path up and when your life is so
Mhm.
great. So I don't know. I love that. But like loving people no matter where they are on that spectrum and just trying to
Yes.
truly help them to the path of their dream life. Like, yeah,
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, man, and, like
Honestly,
oh, sorry, Trevor.
I like what you're saying because you're like kind of giving this perspective of we do it to ourselves. Because basically, if we're not doing this, then guess what? We're not getting the dopamine we need just by sitting on our couch all day watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever. And since we're not getting that
Mhm.
dopamine, our brain is going to try to find getting dopamine in something. So instead, we give ourselves dopamine overload
Hmm.
and pleasurable websites like that. So in a sense,
Yeah.
what you say, what you're saying is like this is me trying to simplify it like heavily here, is that we kind
Mm.
of do it to ourselves. But when we look at anything in life, we kind of do that to ourselves too, whether it be good or bad.
Yeah,
So
it's
if
on
there's
you.
yeah, if there's anything I understand about pornography, it's more like a habit, an
Hmm.
addiction, a habit, however you want to put it. But it's something that can be changed or replaced. So
Yes.
Mm.
like it's when it's almost when this is how it's best described to me. Trying to quit pornography is trying to stop smoking with a full pack of cigarettes in your pocket. You
Mm,
know,
that's well
so
said.
Hmm.
each time you're going to want to go to it. Each time, yeah, every time you go outside, you're going to have that little thing like, okay, I gotta get my lighter, I gotta get my cig. Same thing with that, but except it never runs out. You can't just stop buying it because it's free and it's
Mm,
accessible, which is honestly the worst part.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's really well
Yeah.
said.
Yes.
But I know people try to like cold turkey this all the time, which never works unless you can like lock yourself in a padded room for whatever reason. But
Just
I
depends.
know,
I've seen some of both, cold turkey and not.
man,
Yeah.
actually, no, I like what you do because you can see everything. You can see how most people overcome from coming on different roads
Hmm.
using different strategies too. So would you say that there's like would you suggest any kind of like core fundamentals when it comes to like I understand you don't want to probably I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, but would there be like any core fundamentals that when it comes to like wanting to quit pornography?
Yeah, I want to quick walk you through a study. It's a study on accountability from the American Society of Training and Development, ASTD. And they talk about this idea of if you have a goal and if it's in your own mind, you might have a 10% chance of reaching the goal if you just have that idea in your mind. It jumps up to 25% when you consciously decide that you're going to do it. There's not too much of a jump there. It goes to about a 40% chance of reaching it when you decide when you're going to do it. Maybe a 50% chance when you decide how you're going to do it and when. And then it goes to a 65% chance when you commit to someone. This is when I'm going to do it, this is how I'm going to do it, and this is the goal. You explain that to them. But this is the crazy part. As soon as you commit to that person every single week for them to hold you accountable to that idea, you have like a 95% chance of reaching that goal. So it's like all you have to do, technically speaking, is tell someone about your goal, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and commit to them every single week and have that conversation scheduled on both your guys' calendar. And that's kind of what I have built. It's this group of guys, there's 10 of us. We meet 3 to 4 times a week, and it's on everyone's calendar, and everyone shows up, and they're like, Harley, I wanted to jerk off, but I had to see you in 2 days. And then I had to see you in 4 days. It's like, yeah, why would you want to jerk off when you're forced to come on these calls? Because
Hmm.
I'm going to be asking. So
Hmm.
that's one foundation, having that regular scheduled accountability meeting with someone that you've told your goal to. That's the first fundamental in my opinion. What do you think of that?
Well, I would say intense, but if anything, that's what's needed, man. Because it's changing the environment. Because well, not necessarily the environment, but changing the way on how you do things, which is what is needed. Like nothing can change if I continue living the same way. If I say I want to get stronger and build up, actually have to get up, get out of my house, and go to the gym. Same same thing, but thing is, if I never leave to go to the gym, like oh yeah, I'm going to do my workout from at home with what workout equipment? Not the same thing that they have at the gym.
Hmm. Yep.
So so no, I like that because it's getting more people together, and yes, now they have to talk about it with other people now. That brings
Hmm.
uncomfortability. And honestly, if you can get uncomfortable in this kind of sense, I find that to just be a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie, anything
Yeah.
you
And
have to add?
Yeah, and I think it helps. I mean, like you're saying, it helps people battle the guilt, that comes with it. Because knowing that you're gonna have some type of accountability, and that person to really check in with you, because I know I've struggled with that in the past. Like, I don't want to let people know that I made a mistake. You know what I mean? I don't want to let people know that, like, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? But it's like we all do anyway. Like, we just don't want people to know. You know what I mean? But like we're saying, you just have to do it. The more you do something, the more it's going to get not easier, but you're going to get stronger. You're going to develop those barriers and those blocks and that confidence. You know what I mean? That it's not controlling you. This thing it doesn't own me. Like, I'm not a slave because I can walk away. You know, so.
Yeah, it's true. And you might think, "Oh, it's uncomfortable getting on these calls talking about porn." It's like,
Mhm.
no, not uncomfortable at all. It's uncomfortable in the first minute or two, like for the first day that they meet me, or maybe the first time they're meeting one of the other guys. But it's like all of us are here for the same reason, and that's loving each other and wanting to see all of us grow. And like I have a few 19-year-olds in my group where I'm just blown away by I saw when they first joined just how like nervous they were about bringing it up and like ooh, but now it's like the one guy's like I just told my youth group pastor, I've told 20 people now, and it's like it's not even a problem for me anymore. Oh my word, I'm not even shameful. I don't care. I'm done with it. And I'm like,
Okay.
bro, that is the key. You just have to, who cares? Just
Mhm.
open up, be
Yep.
vulnerable, and have people in your life that you can go to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love that idea.
Heck yeah. So what would you say about, like, for us as men, how do we displace that testosterone? You know what I mean? Like, how do we redirect? You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Like, we need that outlet, like,
yeah.
so we don't get that irritability or that anger or
Mm,
just that moment of just like, "Rah," you know what I mean? Like, you got to get rid of some type of release, right? So
you're speaking correctly right there. Well said.
yes, yes.
Uh, yeah, man. Some of my favorites are hitting the gym very, very hard. Like if you do an
Hmm.
intense workout where you're sweating and like go soaking your shirt, breathing very hard. I got my watch, hitting zone 5 occasionally, might as
Hmm.
well. If you That's one strategy. I think the sauna is honestly one of the most powerful tools I've ever used. I use it every
Oh
single
yeah.
day. I love
Yep.
that. Also, I have a cold plunge, so I use that as well. Those are
Yes.
some unique ones, but even just having a deep conversation, really, you can channel a lot of energy into it. And that's why I'm such a
Yes.
huge proponent of like talking with people, getting on
Yes.
calls, doing this podcast. I love what you guys are doing here. Or another
Heck
thing
yeah.
you can do is have sex with your woman. Of
Yes.
course,
Yes.
that's a good outlet, as you know. But
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Those are some of the main ones. I would
Yeah.
also say, like, one of my favorite ones is channeling it into a side project or a business or
Mm.
some kind of idea,
Yep.
whether it's a YouTube channel or uh, I don't know, some kind of thing online or some kind of business or really whatever.
Mhm.
Like, to be honest, I quit porn because I was so focused in on trying to grow my online business. I just got all
Bro.
invested in and
Yes.
I didn't have time for it. I was like, no longer, I just don't want to feel
Mhm.
like trash. I want to feel great grinding this. So I don't know.
Yes.
What do
Bro,
you
I
think?
love
What are
that.
some ways to channel for you?
Man, everything you said. Like, I love it, dude. Cause like ice pass have been my thing, right? Like, I just like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
I love it because, it sucks. It really does suck, especially when you first start. And, we need to do that. Uh, sorry, rabbit trail. But do you know who John Ashraf is?
No, but I'm gonna look them up now.
So he's a neuroscientist. And no, actually, Andrew Huberman. Andrew Huberman is the one that I was listening to, but they're
Oh,
still neuroscientists.
hmm
Sorry. But so he was talking about a mid anti-singular cortex that's in our brain. And this thing actually grows when we do uncomfortable things.
mm,
Like it grows when we do things we don't want to do, like discipline and putting ourselves in this situation. And, and it's actually doing things we don't want to do. Not that we get okay and comfortable with doing things we don't want to do, You know what I mean? Because that's not the point. That's the whole point of it, is to do things and continuing to stretch it. It's just like a muscle.
Yeah.
So ripping and tearing and growing and replacing it in nutrition. And so that's the only thing I would say is a little different, is, or just to add on, not different,
Mm.
but healthy things,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because people can go and do, like, I know for me, like, at the end of the day, it's easy just to go in there and sit on the couch and just chill and eat, or, like, not do the things I know I should, you know,
Mhm.
like the ice bath, the working out, the playing with my dogs, the being active with my wife, or playing with my baby
Yeah.
and helping her out. Like,
Yeah.
we have to force ourselves to do the things, even though we're tired, even though we're, got all this other stuff on our minds, even though we've had a long day and we're stressed, even though, we did hit a hardcore gym sesh, you know what I mean? And we're just exhausted, you know what I mean? But it's like having the willpower to know that I need to do these things because it's more important, and it is going to give me a better life. It is going to be more fulfilling in the long term, because, and that's the one thing that I've realized over all of this and all the crap that I've done, is that, like, pleasure that comes without work, or any
Mm.
kind of like effort,
Mhm.
is just garbage.
Yeah.
Like, even scrolling on my phone, man, like I get into a habit of doing that. I even try to stop
Mhm.
playing games,
Oh, yeah.
because, bro, I was like 280 pounds and I would play Fortnite for 12 hours straight.
Hmm.
like that was dead. I'm not gonna lie. So when I came back to Jesus, like, I definitely, my life was restored in a sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice.
and that can look different to people, because even in the parables, you have to be able to look at it like, whenever Jesus is talking about the poor, like, you're poor. You know what I mean? Like, you're poor physically, you're poor, mentally, emotionally. You're, it's not just finances.
Mm-mm.
Because when you think you're rich in something, guess what? You're not gonna, like, receive more.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like that's why he said it's hard for the rich to get into heaven, because they have to give up things that they hold on to dearly. Like, like, what you cherish is where your heart is. What you spend your money on, what you choose to do. Like, our actions are so important. So it's not just that, oh, hey, I got my salvation, I'm good. I'm gonna go seek my own stuff, pride, ego, narcissism, like, that's how all these things develop,
Mm.
and that's what ends up making people treat people like garbage, is selfish ambition, which comes from temporary pleasure.
Yeah. It's true,
Yes.
man. Well said.
So yeah, sorry for the rant, but yeah, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
it's
yeah, man, that's
beautiful.
just and bro, like, it's learning through the fire. Like I went through this whole entire life of, like, garbage living, I call it. And then it's like your eyes become opened. You know what I mean? Like you finally, because, and I was telling Travis this, but the one thought that I had that made me change my life was, if only I knew then what I know now. And I was like, bro, I'm really that ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, I treated people like crap and just everything, So it's I love getting in the presence of God, because that's what helps me. You know what I mean? Like realizing that he came down and suffered, right? And bro, like, I mean, bro, I've gotten emotional, like, hardcore, and I'm getting more into the view of, like, I don't care what people think of me. You know what I mean? And that's really how we have to be, because that's why it says you have to have the fear of the Lord, because he's the only one we should fear. You know what I mean? Like that's it. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter how they view us, because at the end of the day, we all have our own life to live and we're all sinners. And I love what you're doing too, man, because it's like you're helping people better themselves. You know what I mean? You're giving them confidence. You're boosting them. You're helping them, achieve something better for themselves. So that's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that
sir.
the cheap pleasure's not worth it, man. I know what you mean.
Yep.
It's right there, but it's in your pocket, like Travis said, but
Mm-hmm.
it leads to 3 to 4 to 5 days of just lower motivation, lower energy. way more susceptible to doing it again. And that's why people get stuck in that cycle. And it's like, if you can get out of that and
Mm.
pursue things that give you sustained dopamine, the
Yep.
sauna is like literally the cheat code. You don't even have to do any work. You just
Yes,
have to sit in there. Your life will change. Do that. I don't
bro.
understand why people don't. Like, I
Hmm.
tell them every day, hit the sauna, and they don't. And I'm like,
Yep,
that's like the cheat code to quit porn right there.
dude.
Have some calls and get in the sauna, but do
Yes.
like do something hard, get
Yeah.
sweaty, and you're gonna feel awesome afterwards. Go for a run.
Hmm.
Just do it.
Bro,
Who
like
cares how you
stress.
feel? You'll feel
Yeah.
awesome after. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm a huge proponent of just go and do it.
Uh,
Like you're saying.
Uh-huh.
I love it because it's like it's almost like getting out and doing like a manly thing. I'm saying a manly thing kind of as an example, but I know like most men, they tend to go to video games and stuff because that's where they tend to find fulfillment. Because you know, in today's culture, in today's day and age, it's more like, oh, girl boss, girl power, whatever. Like I kind of trying to like what dehumanize men in a sense. And with everything that's going on, most men tend to get into politics and stuff. Why? Because they actually feel like they have like a place and a purpose to do in these kind of like politics or debates or whatever. Even was I think it's Presbyterians or yeah, I think it's Presbyterians. That okay, yeah. I never mind.
It's all
But
good.
You good?
I'm not. I got another word, but then it was like I immediately forgot it, which is why I just kind of like stuttered over myself there over nothing.
Gotcha.
But
Brain
which is
farts,
why
man.
also people exactly yeah. Which is why also people tend to serve in churches because they feel like they have like this purpose and this fulfillment of like actually going out and doing something. So
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
when we get dopamine, we kind of get in two ways: physical activities, which is why men love going to the gym and stuff, and which is why like because porn takes away that testosterone, which is why you need that testosterone for the gym and stuff. And, but even just like going out and running, doing something hard, doing something like getting a like cold bath, yeah, ice bath or
Mhm.
whatever, cold showers, like that's why that stuff is good. It
Yeah.
kind of when you look into the mental side of things, like Charlie, I know you have done a lot of that. Okay, it's actually yeah, it's, a lot of the things that will make you uncomfortable is actually really good for you, which is crazy to say because that was something I never thought I would ever say.
Including talking about porn with random
Yes.
people.
Bro, and
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
so I gotta do it, but like, so that's why the whole podcast, like, God gave it to me, bro. And the reason why I say God gave it to me real quick for everybody, like, God uses other people to talk to you. The word talks to you. It's called the living word. Like, you'll get thoughts that aren't your thoughts. And it's like a remembrance in a sense, like you remember something or like a direction to go, you know? So it's not like I created it because I'm sitting here singing a song or something. And then it's like something just gets like downloaded into me about a direction to go or something to you, or even just to write down. Like, you know, I say it's the Holy Spirit, you know, because the Holy Spirit leads us and guides us into all truth and everything else like that. But anyway, so the vision for the podcast and a business that I'm trying to build, a coaching business, is intentionally apply pain, suffering, sacrifice, and uncomfortability to best use God's blessings and gifts in order to help, serve, and love people in a way that's pleasing to Him. And so we learn through suffering, which means we are obedient. Like we learn how to be obedient through suffering. And our pain is used for purpose. Like there has to be, like, there's a purpose behind the pain. Our disappointments are things that we need to work in. Like it leads us, it gives you direction if you look at it a different way. So, like, what is God trying to teach me in this situation? You know, like, what is God trying to show me in this situation? And if you read the Bible, which has literally all the good morals and values and even like instructions on how we should live, because Jesus lived pretty much a perfect life. He didn't fall to the temptations. You know, he was a servant, but yet higher than even the most highest king on this planet at the time. You know what I mean? Like it's insane for the level of stature that he held and like his position, his like authority that he had, even from his way of like where he is. So And he had that at the cross. All of that was at the cross, the pain, all of it. So really facing the uncomfortable things in life, like if it's hard to go talk with someone. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be nervous, you're going to be shy, you may not know what to say, you might look like a fool, but hey, you'll get better.
Yes.
If you don't do it, you know what I mean? You'll never get better, and so on top of that, there's a couple things that I have like written down over time. So emotion, energy, in motion. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel better once you start moving.
Mm.
Even if you don't feel good now, like your body is gonna start releasing a like actual response to when you get up and start doing things. Like our brain's wired to send electrical signals through our body, and the emotions that get sent out with that. It's chemicals. So it's actually a physiological experience of moving and doing things. If you're stagnant, you're gonna be like dying. You're what's it called? When your muscles get like stagnant, it's a muscular dystrophy or something like that. When you like actually can't move your muscles anymore, like
Mm.
they won't work. Like because so fat can't turn into muscle, but muscle can turn into fat. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's like it's calories. It's the way our body works. And I went through this entire process of my life and season where I was like studying nutritional science. Like, what are the benefits of fasting? Like, how does this actually help you? It helps you mentally. It helps you all kinds of different ways. Drinking a crap ton of water. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like just the body operates so much more at a capability than we even realize. Like when God says, I made you in my image, in our image is what he says. Like, you got to realize you have an untapped potential that you're not even reaching the surface of. Like, it's like the iceberg and like a little bit tip at the top of the water, and it's like, massive all the way down to the deep of the sea. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like, there's so much more you can tap into, and that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, not only do I want to do that, I want to help other people do that, because then guess what? That's a purpose. That is something way better than sitting on your couch every day, watching TV, beating off, like doing the things that like we shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? Because sin, you know what I mean? Because of the death of this world, because of the childhood trauma, because of the things that have happened to us in our life that made us feel a certain way and store these emotions in our body. And that's why I love, everything that you're saying too, and you're doing, is because you have to get up and move to get get these feelings and emotions out of your body. Like, for example, you can be emotionally hungover. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, that 2 to 3 days, even like your body has to break those chemicals down,
Mhm.
so the sauna, it helps you release those toxins. Even when you stretch, it's lactic acid that comes out of the muscles. So you stretch, go to the sauna, boom. You might feel like crap for a little while until the lactic acids release fully out of your pores and everything, and you digest or whatever. But bro, like it's right there, but we choose. We have the free will. Do it or don't do it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that's simple right there. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it's
sorry. Another
true,
little
man.
rant, but man, like, bro, it it really is right there. And we need to empower others. We need to inspire others, because for far too long was I not motivated myself, like at all. You know what I mean? And then it takes that one thing. I don't know how familiar or acquainted you are with the Bible, but you know, Saul of Tarsus, he became Paul.
Mhm.
God like struck him. He lost his sight, fell off the high horse. In a sense, it's funny because he fell off a horse. So he's up on a high horse, and he falls off. It's
Mhm.
like, like,
Pretty funny.
man, it's the perspective and attitude. You know, so real quick, what would you say? And I know I probably asked the same thing multiple times, but like, to give someone a different perspective and attitude, like how should someone look at their situation in life, or even like self-assess and realize, what is my purpose? how do I change this situation? What do I do? How do I become my manly God image that God has created me in? Or if they don't believe, just a more manly yourself.
How do you find your purpose? How do you feel less down about a situation is kind of the question.
Yeah, or even turn your life around.
Mm,
Like, in a sense, like if you're in that situation of the fear, shame, guilt, because deep down, you feel that way. Like, even if someone doesn't realize it at the point in time, they're going to. But just to, and I know it's probably the same thing, get moving, but the person that feels that way and wants to find their purpose, like they don't know what to do. Like they don't know where to start, they don't know what they want to do. So yeah.
mm. So yeah, it seems like there's two things. The first is trying to figure out your purpose, trying to figure out what motivates you, what drives you. Second is like what to do when you're feeling like you're in a slump or you don't feel motivated to even do anything.
Mhm.
Uh, I guess it's kind of similar. To find the purpose, I think that's a daily battle of like everyone's always trying to figure out their purpose, what is truly what they're here for. That's like the life question. What is your life meant for? Why are we here? What is your
Yeah.
life for? What are you doing on this earth? All those questions. But like in my opinion, I'm the kind of guy who's like, if you're not sure, welcome to the club. Just start trying stuff. Try this one day. Oh, weren't the biggest fan? Okay, try that. Try that. Oh, that one felt good. Let's keep going. Oh, that one made my relationship better with my friend, or
Mhm.
whatever your passion is. I would just, if you're not sure, just try stuff out. Try music, try preaching, try YouTubing, try podcasting, try whatever. Just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like eh, I don't know. I'm a huge person to just try stuff, and if you don't like it, that's a great lesson learned. It's better than not knowing. And in regards to like being in a slump, welcome to the club. Life is all about slumps.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's the people that can push past that and be like, "Yep, I'm a little depressed right now. Well, I'm still gonna keep going." It's like the
Uh-huh.
quote from Goggins. It's easy to be
Mm.
great nowadays because most people are weak. Most people don't go the extra mile when it's hard. It's like, yeah, it's not. Life isn't easy, but it's like, you know,
Yes.
on just in regards to like social media or pumping out podcasts, it's like, oh, I don't want to do another podcast. I've done so many. I'm not getting
Yes.
any freaking views. It's like, welcome to the club of every single podcaster who's ever podcasted. If you
Uh-huh.
just keep going through this slump, that's what's going to make you one of the greats. Everyone gives up right at this moment. That's why it's called
Yep.
hard. It's not
Yep.
an easy thing. So just
Mhm.
go. I don't know. I'm the big fan of just pushing through. And
Yes.
sometimes you might have to pivot. Maybe it makes logistical sense to stop the podcast and do something else, but that's not
Mhm.
quitting. You know, I don't know. Don't quit if it makes sense to keep going, but if it makes sense to pivot, sure, pivot and try something else. I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
hard question to answer, but
And no, I like that because like what a lot of people try to do is like, oh man, like oh I gotta do this. I hate this, but I gotta do this. And I gotta try to move forward this way. When in reality, this is all about trial and error, trying to find out what works. And another thing to kind of answer your question, Charlie, like, oh, like how can you do this to get better? Honestly, one thing I would say is to have a better relationship with yourself. Because in a
Yes.
sense, like this is how I see it. If you can't love yourself, how can you love others? If you love yourself, how can you love other people around you or have any kind of, I guess, not necessarily compassion or empathy, but like in a sense, yeah, I guess compassion, empathy in this kind of sense. But if you can't have a good relationship with yourself, you need a good relationship with yourself because if you're constantly looking down at yourself, well, guess what? That's going to keep you in these slumps. That's going to keep you where you are. But if you can actually like get into a place to where you're just not constantly looking down on yourself or not being too hard on yourself, now it's like, okay, now you don't have this weighted blanket on you of you condemning yourself. Because
Mhm.
it's almost like this, like crying or worrying about something is never going to do anything. In the same sense, if you're going to constantly put yourself down, constantly going to hate yourself over nothing, if you're going to be your number one biggest enemy, then you're never going to go anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, and I think as well as to add on to all of that from both of y'all, it's facing things with a completely different perspective than you ever have. Like realizing that at any moment in time, you're always one choice decision away from having a completely different life. Like it's so freeing. Like, wait, you're telling me I don't have to think I'm a piece of crap? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who in your life told you that? Because I'm pretty sure my God told me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You know what I mean? Like my God is strong. He is stronger than any kind of anxiety or weakness or anything that I have. And anything that I have, I can lean on him and know that he's got me. You know what I mean? He's going to teach me. He's going to, through perseverance, am I going to get better? The endurance of things. Like, real quick, I'll just say this. So it's James 1, 2 through 4. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So, like, it takes time. Sometimes we have to wait, like you were saying. Sometimes we might have to shift positions, but you can't give up. And like you were saying, there was a quote from David Goggins. Sometimes you have to go to war with yourself because you're the one. You know what I mean? Like you're the one that stops you. Like no one else really does. They make you think something or believe something, that probably isn't true. Or from their perspective, they might see something. But like we have to experience that for ourselves, because no one's going to do it for us. So yes, man, finding that purpose. And speaking to that, to keep it moving, I see faith as not only relationship, but a relate ability. So how do things relate with us? Because, we're all human. We all have the same exact experiences, same exact struggles, same exact problems, just in a different way, in a different manner, at a different point in time of life, but we can all learn from each other, and science can't say why we exist. You know what I mean? It doesn't give us that sense of purpose. We have to find that. It doesn't say how the universe created specifically, or it can't, because science is a study of creation and God is the creator. So that's why I say that. But philosophy, it tries to tell us why, but that's also subjective. You know what I mean? Like it's personal. So our personal experience gives us a purpose, but that doesn't mean that gives us the objective purpose of why humanity was created. You know what I mean? So and then if you know that there's good and bad, there has to be a way to determine what's actually good. So I know I probably went like all over the place right there. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people, but like, yeah, man, like you have to get moving and you have to find what's good for you, you know, and that's something I would say uh, for that aspect. And I'm asking these questions based off of where I was when I first started. Like as people listening, look back on your life and realize what brought you to where you are now. And then after going over that, because no one can tell you that except for you. Like no one can tell you your life except for you. Like, so you have to be the one that breaks this thing down and really assess it and be like, so first off, where do I want to go? Like you were saying, is what I'm doing now giving me the results that I want? Obviously not. You know what I mean? So what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? When do I need to do it? You know, like what kind of system, routine, like how can I go to war with myself? I don't want to get up. Get up. You know what I mean? Like David Goggins said, I'm out here at 1 a.m. You know what I mean? Like he's freaking crazy. But look how much he's accomplished. So yeah, man, I really do love getting into this kind of stuff, man, because the sky, like not even the sky is the limit. Actually, the subconscious is the limit.
Mm,
you know, and I read a study that 5% of who we are consciously, or who we are consciously, is only 5% of who we actually are. 95% is subconsciously.
yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, like habits,
Hmm.
our choices and
Childhood,
things.
growing up, personality
Yes.
traits,
Yeah.
biases.
Yeah. Like we're meant to act, not react. And if we're letting our subconscious lead us all the time without assessing it or even trying to change it, then we're going to continuously live the same life on repeat for the rest of our life. And bro, honestly, I'll say this. So this is another vulnerable moment for me. But another reason that started me on my whole entire journey was realizing I had childhood trauma.
Mm, it's a good thing to look
Because,
into.
bro, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put myself on blast here. Like, I was living at my mom's house in a pop-up trailer. Like, I'm talking about like the little mini ones, the ones that you probably go put on a campsite that are smaller than a travel trailer. But like one bed, another bed with like a mini fridge, a sink, a little bitty walkway, and then another bed, and then my dog.
Mm.
Bro, I was like that for 2 months because my mom has some stuff going on and whatnot, and it was just a crazy situation. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking with a therapist, and like, mind you, I'm just about to start therapy, and I'm like, I don't understand why she is the way she is, and I just want to help. I want to fix. I want to do this, blah blah blah, that and this, that, and then I didn't even realize that I was the one with the problem.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But that's what got me to that point in time in my life. You know what I mean? And like, bro, it is so deep. That's why I'm saying that like this comes from the heart whenever we're doing this. You know what I mean? And like, and I can tell, we all have these experiences. Like, this is our lives. Why are we playing? You know what I mean? Like walking around in a daze, going to the same job over and over, trying to live life at a fast pace, only to trip and fall into a grave one day. And everything else that we have is going to someone else or going to, at some point in time, die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I would just say life is a season. Like you only have today. Tomorrow never comes and yesterday's always gone. So like, and I stole that from other people. So just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like it's knowledge though. I mean, we go to college to learn. We're using other people's knowledge. Like, let's grow. You know what I mean? In order to grow requires change. Change is optional.
True.
So yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
I,
well
I
said.
mean, thank you. Thank you. Just it's I just want to do what God's called me to do. That's it. Seek the kingdom first, and everything else will be given to you. Like there is actually truth to the Bible. I'm gonna say that. Like even if you're trying to learn something and you go to it like, you know, you got to look at it, man. If you're going to the Bible thinking that it's fake and mystic and just some like fairy tale novel, that's all you're gonna see. That's all you're going to see. If you think this is fake, this never happened, there's nothing deeper here. You know what I mean? Like if you don't put yourself in the Bible, like you're experiencing it or that it's for you, you're not going to have the right perspective or attitude to see what you need to see. It's like going to a daggum concert. Sorry. It's like going to a concert and you're there to find someone in the crowd rather than watching and listening to the music and having a good time and actually trying to get what you're supposed to get.
Yeah. I feel like that can go for anything though. So like obviously not like goes like way further. Like for example, like Charlie, if I was setting you up on like a blind date, let's just say that, right? You're going to the
Mhm.
restaurant, but if I told you that, hey, there's a chance that your food's going to be poisoned, well, guess what? Oh no, actually no. If I just tell you that the food's poisoned, you're gonna go there, go into the table like, okay, no, everything's really weird. You're gonna eat really slowly, like kind of like
Mhm.
trying to see if you could taste the
Yep.
poison in your things. It's like the other person across from you is gonna be like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, you can't tell her by the way. It's like, I don't
Yeah, you're
know.
gonna
I
be
don't
sitting there
want to
like
die here.
looking over
Exactly.
your shoulder, watching them
Exactly.
eat first,
Exactly. Yeah.
uh, doing all kinds of
So
things that you shouldn't be doing.
exactly,
Oh
you're
man.
going to go there looking weird. It's like you see everybody else, they're just casually eating, but then you're gonna be all tense and like doing things that you're gonna be in a sense in survival mode.
Oh
There.
yeah.
It's like okay,
Yep.
like so it and that it's almost like how you look at things. That's kind of what your reality comes to. Because if you
Hmm.
look at if you look at the whole world terribly, that's all you ever want to see. If you try to look at the world in a good way, Well, you're going to see
Mhm.
the good, but obviously you're still going to see the bad too. And we always look at the bad. There's a small chance that you can look at the good, but usually it kind of just corrupts each other.
Yep.
Honestly, it's part of the reason why I don't watch the news. Like I know there's people that want to know what's going on. Yeah, but it's
Yep.
just a whole lot of problems, no solutions. And
Yeah. I would say we got to kind of like know what's going on, but yet not like allow it to bother us. Because in some sense, like we have to know, or at least have some type of cognizance of like our environment, like our community. Um, maybe not so much as the whole world, because that's just like, there's too much we can't control, honestly. And when we can't control something, we can't allow that to dictate what we do and don't do. Like we got to live our lives. And speaking to that survival mode, like you were saying though, dude, like a lot of us live in that and we don't even realize it. Like, you know what I mean? The whole childhood trauma thing, like, and this is why you can't blame people or judge people, look down on people, or, like too harshly look at people with the wrong perspective or attitude, because you don't know what kind of upbringing they had, or even the people in their lives that they looked up to, they trusted, they, you know, like honored, they respected, and either told them something that they believed about themselves that was not true, or made them feel a certain way in a vulnerable position. Like, I mean, just put yourself in a situation. I actually have a speech that I put together about when I was 10 years old. But imagine the people that are supposed to, like, you're supposed to feel confident in, right? Like, that you're supposed to be secure in and with, and that they literally control your life. Like, they're supposed to be your safety. And then they do something that harms you, or tells you that you're not good enough, or tells you that you're not worthy, or makes you think that this is my fault. You know what I mean? And that's, bro, that is the root of a lot of issues, like abandonment, rejection, the self pleasuring, it's that coping, and it always takes more of a tolerance, more of something to fix, So man, that's just, and that's another reason why it's like, you know, the harvest is plentiful, but there's not enough workers. There's not enough harvesters. There's not enough people out there honestly trying to help people see the truth, because there's just so much deception, so much lies out there for people to believe, which then it becomes deception, because anything that's not the truth is a lie. But what do you believe? Because lies are only deception when you believe it. So that's something that's helped me in my journey, man. I know I know we're kind of like all over the place here, but that's like it's so much deeper than lust. I mean, you got pride, you got greed, you got gluttony, you got envy, you got sloth. Like that's everything we're talking about. The seven deadly sins, that's the seven things that cause separation and division in this world.
anything they all kind of like combat and feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and real quick, because I don't want to keep just rambling here, but there's this one saying that I heard a long time ago, and it was by one of my old pastors that I looked up to. Sin will keep you longer than you want to stay. It keeps you longer than you want to stay, and make you go further than you want to go, and do more than you want to do. Ultimately, because like when you were like, I'll just say 10 for me, because that was like a roundabout age. But when you're 10 years old, did you see yourself here in life? When you were 10 years old, I know for me, I thought about being a football player. I thought about being like, you know, something cool, a hero, like bro, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I watch My Hero Academia. I'm a nerd. I actually like anime and stuff. And bro, I bawled like a baby at My Hero Academia. Like, I know that's weird to say, and people are probably like, "Oh, this dude's weird and crazy. He's crying to anime." But dude, like, it's the meaning behind it. It's like y- you'd have to see it, man. Like, there's a certain scene where this one kid, he's looking at the other kid, but in their like kid forms, appears to like good and evil, and he's like trying to reach him out, and he sees him like hurt. Actually, he called me and choke up real quick, but he sees him in pain. He sees him alone. He sees people that have rejected him and hurt him and led him down the wrong path. Other people made him think lies about himself, believe these things that weren't true. So it's a lot deeper in the state of things. It's a lot deeper than just lust. Than just these things that we take for granted daily. You know what I mean? So like anybody like you, Harley, and like the podcast here and the other things that we have, and just people who want to stand up for the truth, who want to stand up for the good things and the healthier lifestyle and the purposes of life and the things that make you a better person and feel better, not the kind of feeling that just is temporary or that gives you a pleasure, because people think that pleasure is actually love. People think that pleasure and comfort is actually the real thing that people are after, but it's not. It's an illusion. So yeah, man, sorry about that, but like, dude, it's just, man, it every time I think about it, bro, it gets me choked up. It's
That's good.
because
It's good to have stuff like that in your life, honestly.
yeah,
Shows
man,
how real and deep life is.
yeah, it's just it's and see, and this is where I have a hard time, right? Because as an adult, okay, with struggling, talking, and like trying to connect and relate to other adults, like people who are atheists. I'm not a savior. I'm trying to be a bridge. That's it. I just want to help connect people and help other people in a sense. Like Jesus is the savior. You know what I mean? Like that's a long other story, but this point that I'm referring to though is there's people out there that are Christians in the way they live, but not in the way they believe, because of Christians in the way they believe, but not in the way they live. Like the church hurt, the religion mentality of laws and just looking good on the outside rather than the inside, the heart.
Yeah.
So I mean, like atheists in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, um, some people have a problem with God because of the fact that he, they think he's evil or mean or just did some poor things or whatever, or like he actually was justice. He was love. But people have a problem with the unjust. They think that he's unjust. They think he's mean and not merciful. Like, is this making sense? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so I say it like that though, because we all have this sense of moral code, I feel like, to know the difference between right and wrong, at least the average person. And the just point of fighting for the innocent, you know, standing up and being someone who stands in the gap between someone who can't stand up for themselves. You know what I mean? Like children, you know, and the ones that aren't strong. the people that need help, the people who are crying for help, but just don't know how to go or where to go or, what to do. Like, I've been in that spot. I think we all have, so reaching out a helping hand in a loving way where people are without any judgment. Like we were saying in the beginning, like that is a purpose. That's something to stand up for. But yeah.
Dang, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of went deep.
No, it's good.
I was waiting for Travis to be like, bro, like, you're good.
Well, you see, well, there's a moment where I'm like, Charlie, it's just animation. Calm down.
No, bro, you got it. All right,
But
so
no, I get
There's
it.
there's
You're
movies
using it
that
as an
do the
example
same
for
thing to
life.
me.
I think it's like season 6, episode like 19, bro. I don't even know, something like that. But yeah, it's the whole point of the show, though. Like,
Yeah.
basically this kid who grew up with no powers, like when 80% of the planet has powers, right? And his superhero that he looks up to his whole life comes and basically says he has the ability to get powers and gives them to him, and like he inherits them and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's here nor there. You can go check it out. But yeah, man, I think this was a rocking episode.
Heck yeah, bro.
Woo woo. So if any of us men that struggle with pornography, beating off, or being alone in our quiet place and feeling tempted or whatever, reach out to Harley, and he'll give you a help, man. He'll be that listening ear for you to just say things and be in a safe place to not have judgment, and to get help.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Everyone needs a little bit of help, and yeah, I agree.
Yes. So
Mm,
yeah,
That's
man.
great.
So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up, man. That was a good about an hour, a little longer.
Yeah, nice.
About like
Heck
an
yeah.
hour and 15. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I was digging it, man. That was awesome. I feel like that
Yeah,
was
it was
good.
good. Yeah,
Well,
the
Whoop, whoop.
Goggins quotes were good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
guys,
next time
we
we'll.
are the Cognizant's composition here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap it up here, Charlie. Okay, don't interrupt
Yeah.
my outro, my very
My
special
bad, bro.
patented outro.
My
So we
bad,
are the
bro.
Cognizant's composition, and if you guys need better help, well, guess what? We got Harley Seelbinders links in the description. If you want to check him out, he has his own YouTube videos and his own community that you can go and check out. And
Yes.
we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace
Farewell.
out.